Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Yomi. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about the racism that I've experienced while I was in Morocco. And I didn't want to make this video because obviously it's very solemn and it's something that's very personal to me because it's really affected my self-esteem. And sometimes I don't even feel like I'm human when I'm here, which upsets me because I wanted to go to Morocco since I was very young. Like, everyone has one country that they want to go to before they die. And oftentimes people around the world can't go to that country because they don't have the finances. And I thought that would be my case, but I went to Morocco in October for 3 days and I loved it. I rode a camel, like I was in the desert, like it was amazing. So I'm like, I have to come back for the summer. So I've been living here for the past month and I'll be living here for a month more. And I've experienced like some treatment that isn't great, so I'm going to be talking about it more so to educate people and to tell people about what's going on rather than for people to feel sorry for me, because I don't want you guys to feel bad for me because that's not how I want to be perceived. And going to this video, I know that people are going to not want to believe me because when people talk about these type of things, like oftentimes like it alienates them from society because people don't like to hear about people being discriminated against. So I'm going to be talking about this. But I kind of reached a breaking point the other day when I was walking on the street behind these three girls. I was in a city called Suera, and one of the girls motioned to her friend like when she saw me behind her, and I was like quite far away from the girls, but I was the closest person to them on the street. And like she made a face at me like this, and like they all turned around and went like this, like I was gonna harm them. And that really hurt my feelings because that's never happened to me before. And most people who know that I'm like a gentle giant. Like, I'm pretty friendly to most people. And yeah, and then that same day I was walking down the street and a little boy saw me and then hid behind his mother and was like, once again, like I was going to harm him or like I was dangerous. And the thing is, I want to clarify that by saying this, a lot of times kids are scared of foreigners or people who have a phenotype that they've never seen before. But the thing is, Morocco is in Africa. Morocco is in North Africa, and the rest of North Africa, most people are not black. Then in the rest of Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, most people are black people. But Morocco even has black people who are native to there. Their families have always lived there. And Morocco has a lot of black immigration. And it's like, this is not people's first time seeing a black person. There are other black people walking in the street. So like, why are you scared of me? Like, that really makes me feel unwelcome. But they're kids, so kids don't represent all of society. Kids don't know how to behave in general in all societies. So anyways, but I'm going to talk about Senegal, which Senegal is the main reason why people are being racist towards me. Is on my first week in Morocco, I noticed that like 2 or 3 people had asked me if I was from Senegal. And that didn't offend me because Senegal is a beautiful country. People there are so beautiful and handsome, and there's an amazing culture, and there are so many, like, there's so much beautiful food, beautiful clothing, and a beautiful history and culture. And I was thinking about studying abroad in Senegal like last semester. So like when people ask me if I was from Senegal, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But it was like 3 people asked, and 4 people asked, and 5 people asked, and every single person asked me if I was from Senegal. And I'm like, that's a little strange. Like, I wonder why people are thinking that, because mind you, we're in Africa. There are 54 countries. Like, and there are plenty of black countries outside of Africa, and there are plenty of black people living in Europe and in the Americas. So it's like, why is that people's assumption? I don't know. I'm going to do my research. So I found out on Google there are a lot of black people, there are a lot of Senegalese people living in Morocco, and they're probably the highest population of immigrants from like a sub-Saharan African country to Morocco. So that's one of the reasons people thought I was from Senegal. But then people would yell like Senegal or Senegalese at me from across the street, and like I wouldn't be near them, and it made me feel uncomfortable and also not welcome. Like, and then people would start laughing and like Senegal, 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 and like would yell that at me from across the street, and also would say some pretty rude things. And I remember I was walking down the street, and some guys were walking by, and they said, "Are you from Senegal?" And I said, "No, I'm not. I'm from the United States." And then he said, "Good, because we don't like Senegalese people." And then all the friends started laughing and they walked away. And I'm like, okay, like I wasn't really super bothered by the fact that people thought I was from Senegal, because I'm like, Senegal is a beautiful country, and oh well, like people are being stereotypical, like this is not my culture, I have nothing to do with this. But some people who are saying I'm from Senegal, they don't like Senegal. And the thing is, Morocco and Senegal have historically been friends. They've had a great relationship. And there are a lot of people who immigrate from Senegal to Morocco. But the thing is, there's this championship called Afcon. So think of the World Cup. It's the World Cup, but for African countries. Just like how the Copa America is for countries in the Americas. The Afcon is the soccer championship that happens every year for African countries. The teams in the finals were Morocco and Senegal. Senegal beat Morocco, so they won Afcon. And then, but they didn't like a call that the ref made, so everyone on the Senegalese team walked off the field and stopped playing the match before they continued playing the match. And Senegal ended up winning the game. But the thing is, like, Morocco contested and for like 1 or 2 months, and then the ruling of Senegal winning was overturned so that Morocco won. Because the thing is, it turns out in the rule book that if you stop playing the game, like if a team just walks off the field, you forfeit the game and you lose the game. So that's why Morocco ended up winning the game. But because of this situation, a lot of Moroccan people don't like Senegalese people, or a lot of Moroccan people think negatively of Senegalese people. I was confused because everyone thought I was from Senegal, and then I would start asking people, what do you think of people from Senegal? And people would say, oh, people from Senegal, they're liars, they're cheaters, like they stole Afcon, like the championship from Morocco, like they don't behave fairly. So this was the common sentiment. And like, because soccer is very important in Morocco, soccer is very important in Senegal. So despite these countries having two very good relations, um, like people have kind of antagonized me and have taken out against me. Even though Afcon happened many months ago, like the soccer tournament happened many months ago, a lot of people have been rude and disrespectful towards me in the street, like yelling Senegalese at me, like just being disrespectful because of what happened at the Afcon championship, which, mind you, I'm not from Senegal. I have nothing to do with this country. Like, and people will often ask me if I'm from Africa, which makes sense. We're on the continent of Africa, so I understand why people would think that. But when I tell them I'm not from Africa, they're confused. I'm like, oh, I'm from the USA. And they're like, but you look African. And I'm like, I'm from the US. That's where I'm from. And people, like, they just can't seem to understand that I'm from the US. And the US has the highest GDP in the world, I believe. Like, we're the richest country by some measures. And it's like, people cannot understand that I'm not from Africa. Which, once again, Africa is a beautiful continent. So there's nothing wrong with being perceived as being from Africa. But when I tell people that I'm from the United States and they can't not comprehend that, and they continuously say that I'm from Africa, like I'll say, oh, I'm from Africa, they'll be like, no, you're Senegalese. I'm not also like, oh, I'm from the USA, and they'll be like, no, you're Senegalese. Like, oh, I come from USA, they're like, no, you're from Senegal. And people will continuously do this, like, all the time whenever I meet people. Oh, I'm from the USA, I'm American, no, you're Senegalese. I have nothing to do with Senegal, I'm not from Senegal. And I don't normally dress like this. I just started wearing this today because it's super hot. But I usually wear Western clothing too. But like, no matter what I say, like, people always assume that I'm from Senegal. There are some people who assume that I'm from France because I'm a foreigner, but almost everyone assumes that I'm from Senegal. It's like, they don't assume I'm from Nigeria or Mali or Ghana or Togo or South Africa. It's always Senegal. And it's always often followed by laughing. And so that, like, has really hurt me. I remember one time I was driving in a taxi and I got out, and the taxi driver told me that I'd be 100 dirham, which is like the currency. And then when I got out of the taxi, he's like, no, like, give me 120 dirham. But I was arguing with him because a lot of people, like, I've been through a lot of scams here in this country, and I've gotten to a point where I'm tired of being scammed. So I'm not just going to give you $120 or 120 dirham because you told me to give that to you. I'm going to say, no, I'm not giving that to you. And then he said, oh, you're from Senegal? Like, you're from Senegal? And in the whole car ride, I told him I was from the US. So now that he's angry at me, he's calling me Senegalese. And I'm like, okay, like, what do you want me to do about that? But I remember I was filing a police report, and the police didn't care about what I was saying because my phone was stolen. They didn't care that my phone was stolen. And then I told them that I was from the US because everyone assumes that I'm from Africa. Then I told them that I'm from the US, and then they started calling people because my phone was stolen. Like, they did not care that my phone was stolen until I told them that I was from the US. And mind you, I was dealing with the police officers for 3 hours. These two specific police officers. Like, I mean, I filed a police report for like 5 or 6 hours, but these two police officers I dealt with for like 3 hours. And I told them that I was American maybe around 30 times in the conversation, because like, we talked for 30 hours. I mean, we talked for 3 hours, and then I gave them my passport so that I could officially file their police report. And it says American on my passport. Like, they said, "What's your nationality?" American. And then they kept filing the police report, and they kept asking me, "What's your nationality?" I said, "I'm American. I'm from the United States." "What's your nationality?" "American." And they asked me this like 5 times after they already had the passport in front of them, and I told them that I'm from the United States, and they keep asking me where I'm from when I literally told you which country that I'm from. But anyways, another thing that people will do is, I was at a festival. This is the Ganawa Music Festival in the city of Suera, and that's like the worst experience. That's the worst treatment that I've ever experienced in my entire life. Those 3 days that I was at the festival, there's tens of thousands of Moroccans at the festival, and people kept coming up to me assuming that I was selling something. So the thing is, there are a lot of Senegalese people who will sell things on the side of the road, right? Like in touristy areas. And the thing is, these people who are selling things are not rich people, they're not wealthy. Think of people who sell like Eiffel Towers at the Eiffel Tower, like little Eiffel Tower trinkets in Paris. Think of like the people on at Times Square who like sell fruit, or who sell like little knickknacks, who come from places in Latin America. Like, these people tend to not have a lot of money. Sometimes these people don't have like papers and aren't legally allowed to be in the country, and it's the same with people selling things on the side of the road here in Morocco. And when I was at the festival, so many people came up to me trying to buy things off of me, thinking that I was selling them something. And I'm like, "Yo, like, I'm not selling you anything. Like, I'm just walking, trying to enjoy music, and like, you're trying to buy something that I have in my hand." Like so many people came up to me saying like, "Oh, like, trying to buy my hat, like, oh, how much like are you selling this hat for?" And I'm like, "I'm not selling the hat, like, this is just my hat." They're like, "Oh no, like, I mean, like, I see you're selling it, like, how much are you selling it for?" And I'm like, "I'm not selling you anything." So yeah, it's kind of like how in Times Square there are a lot of like Latin American people selling things, and these people are not often well perceived. And I really respect the people selling things because they often don't have a lot of money. But it's like you being a Latin American person walking in Times Square and someone assuming that you're selling them something, even when you're not. Like, it feels pretty degrading, because like, once again, these people oftentimes don't have much money. They're often like begging you to buy something, and it almost comes across as them bothering you. So that's been frustrating. It's like, no matter how much money I have, no matter me coming from the wealthiest nation, like, people assume that I'm poor, and that really bothers me. And the other thing is, like, people will often like come up to me and they say, "Oh, you look like you're from Africa." But they'll say this like they themselves are not African. Like, Morocco is in Africa. Like, most Moroccan people like are not as dark as me, but they'll say like, "Oh, like, you look like you're from Africa," when they themselves are from Africa. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And the thing that also bothers me, that people think that I'm not from Morocco, is that Morocco has plenty of people who look like me. There are the Ganawa people, there are the Sahrawi people, they're just darker skinned Moroccan people, who are lighter than me, or who are the same skin tone as me, in any city you go to in Morocco. And like, people like will assume that like I'm from another country. So for me, it's like, that frustrates me, because there are plenty of Moroccan people who look like me. So it frustrates me for those people. But anyways, like, wherever I go, except for this one city that I'm in now, that like I'll be in for the next month, wherever I go, people are yelling things at me across the street. People are yelling Senegal at me from across the street. And it just makes me feel uncomfortable, because like, I'm just trying to live, I'm trying to enjoy my experience, but people are yelling at me, and it's like, why are you doing this? Like, it reminds me of when I was in South Korea and people would do this a similar thing, and it just makes me feel unwelcome. Because imagine like, you're a Puerto Rican person walking down the street and someone yells "Mexico, Mexico" at you. It's like, you're not from Mexico. Like, there's nothing wrong with being from Mexico. Mexico's a beautiful country, but like, it's just disrespectful. It's like being like, from Vietnam and someone yelling China at you from across the street. And it's like, this is my everyday experience here, multiple people doing it, and it's gotten to a point where like, oftentimes I feel very unwelcome, and it really breaks my heart. And I forgot to mention a story to you guys. So one time I was walking past these little kids, and they told me, "Senegal, like, you're from Senegal." And I said, "No, I'm from the USA." And they're like, "No, you're from Senegal." I said, "No, I'm from the USA." They're like, "No, you're from Senegal." And then they tried to have me recite something. like a prayer that you say to convert to Islam. But I didn't know that what they were saying, but I knew they were trying to have me say something religious, which I didn't want to say because I'm not Muslim. And then the kids, because I wouldn't say what they wanted me to say about like Islam, they started chasing me, and which was funny at first. I was laughing and they were laughing, but then eventually, and they were asking me for money too. And then I ran away, and then I walked to the other side and was walking back to where I was staying. And then the kids started chasing me again, and were putting their hands out like, give us money, give us money. And then they started chasing me like with cement, like large blocks of cement that were this big. Like they were trying to throw cement at me, which could have injured me. And which was also scary because even though they were small, they were like 6 to 8 years old. There's like a lot of them, so it's like maneuvering around a lot of different kids while they're trying to throw cement at you is quite scary. And they would not accept the fact that I was from the US. They're like, no, you're from Senegal. And that was a very scary experience. Even though they were young kids, like they were so hateful. They had so much hate in their heart. Yeah. But today I was walking down the road, and some man came up to me, and he's like, where are you from? Or, oh, he's like, hello, where are you from? And I said, oh, I'm from the USA. And he came and gave me a hug. He's like, we love the USA here in Morocco. And it just made me feel really welcome and warm inside, because that hasn't always been my experience, like here. Oftentimes, like, people will be giving me dirty looks on the road, or people will just be staring at me, and it just is weird for me because I'm in the continent of Africa, and sometimes people are treating me like I don't belong, like I'm subhuman, like I'm subclass, like I'm just someone who's really poor, which I make more money than most people that I'm meeting here, so it's like, doesn't make any sense to me. And the other thing is, like, when I tell people that I'm from the US, like, they don't accept that oftentimes. Like, they'll say, no, you're from Senegal. Like, I was hanging out with these guys for a few hours. I talked about them in my last video where my phone was stolen, but I was hanging out with one of the guys for a few hours, and I kept saying that I was from the US. He's like, oh, you're from America, you're from the US, you're from Florida, whatever. Like, I told him I'm from Florida. And then we were walking down the road, and we ran into someone from Senegal. And then my friend looked at me and said, oh, look, my friend, he's also from Senegal, pointing at me. When it's like, I told you like 10 times during this conversation that I'm from the US, and you're telling someone that I'm from Senegal, which, mind you, Senegal is not a very wealthy country, and it's a beautiful country, but it's like, also it's like, it feels, it, it just, it upsets me, because it's like, I told you so many times where I'm from, and like, you can't get it through your head that I'm not from Senegal. And the thing is, like, Senegal is a beautiful country, but the thing is, like, Senegal and the USA, they're not similar at all. That's like me saying I'm from Japan and you saying, oh, you're from Colombia. Like, they're not similar at all. So it's like, the confusion, I don't understand the confusion. But anyways, like, for the past month, it's been one of the hardest months of my life, because my phone was stolen, and also, like, I've loved Morocco for so long, but the treatment here has just been so bad, which I'm not really getting into how bad the treatment has been, because my attitude seems good. But like, I've been really struggling because people here have been like so rude and like disrespectful. Not all people, but like people have made me feel so unwelcome. And I've been to 30 countries, and I've only ever been to one other country where I've experienced disrespect like this, but I feel like out of all the 30 countries I've been to, Morocco has been the highest where I've been treated poorly, and which has upset me because it's the country that I've wanted to go to for my entire life. But I just wanted to make this video to educate you, that so that you can think of ways that you can treat people better, and ways that, and also to let you know that traveling isn't just glamour. Like, when you travel, you learn how people perceive you, and you learn that you can't always change people's perceptions of you. They're kind of ingrained in society, and whatever you do, people will just kind of like assume that you don't have any money, or that you're poor, or that you don't deserve respect. And like, the police were acting like I didn't deserve respect until I told them that I was from the USA, which also, it's like, so you're not going to take my case seriously until I tell you that I'm from a richer country. That upsets me. But yeah, it's just to let you know that when you travel, sometimes people are not going to treat you well, and it's a hard truth. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, Latino, you can experience these things, but I just want to warn you that whenever you travel, you'll travel with rose-colored glasses, and sometimes someone will shatter those glasses, and you'll realize that the country that you travel to isn't what you thought, because people will kind of be rude and disrespectful or hateful, or will treat you like you're subhuman just because of the way that you look. And it's really frustrating. But I'm trying to channel this like negativity that I've experienced into positivity, and I'm trying to have a good time. And I'm in a city now where people are treating me with respect, and where people aren't just coming up to me yelling things at me from across the road. And when I was at the festival, maybe around like 30 or 40 times like each day, like people were like yelling at me from across the road, which whether you're or not you're yelling something positive, like it's not a good feeling. And yelling Senegal, like saying things about Afcon, about the World Cup championship, like just like being disrespectful. And anyways, that's it for this video, but I'm having a good time here. I'm in a new city, and I am exploring and walking around and meeting people, and people in the city have been very nice to me. And also, I want to let you know that there have been plenty of Moroccans who've like been nice and have bought me tea, or like who have said that I'm welcome here. So I will say that it hasn't just been negative treatment, and I don't want you to think it's only been negative treatment, but the negative treatment has been severe enough to the point where it has made me feel very sad. But at the same time, I'm gonna let you know that I'm gonna keep being me. I'm not gonna let this dim my light. The treatment here has been so bad that I'm like, I think this may be the last time that I travel outside the US, but that's not reasonable. I'm gonna continue being me, and I'm gonna continue wearing this because it's so hot, and I'm wearing braids right now, so my scalp is going to be burning in the sun. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate you for coming here and for listening to me, because I'm pouring my heart out to you, and this is really something that's hard for me to talk about, but I'm just being honest. But thank you.